The rebuild continues and the automotive world is happy as Ferrari just did something that would make most people's palms sweat. They helped an independent mechanic for the first time to repair his wrecked car. I know this sounds too good to be true. After months of rebuilding the Ferrari 296, Matt Armstrong still couldn't even get the car to start. And this wasn't just some normal rebuild anymore. The car had completely defeated everyone working on it. No ignition, no communication, no dashboard, nothing. Every single time they fixed one issue, another problem appeared immediately after. What started as a crash rebuild slowly turned into a complete nightmare. The craziest part is Ferrari themselves were struggling to understand what was wrong with the car. And that says everything about how complicated modern supercars have become. This wasn't just a damaged Ferrari anymore. It had basically turned into a giant rolling computer system that refused to wake up. And things got even worse because Ferrari dealerships initially didn't even want to touch the car. Matt was told the car had to be fully complete before Ferrari would properly work on it. No missing parts, no unfinished wiring. Everything had to be exactly how Ferrari wanted it. Even filming inside Ferrari was completely banned. Strict no filming policy, which instantly made the entire situation feel even more secretive. At one point, Matt became so desperate, he spent $15,000 on a completely new hybrid battery because everyone believed the original battery had failed. The hybrid system wouldn't charge. The car stayed completely dead. And because the Ferrari 296 uses the hybrid system to actually start the engine, the entire project was stuck. But after wasting all that money, Ferrari eventually discovered the real issue, and it was absolutely ridiculous. The electronic handbrake wasn't activated. That was it. A tiny overlooked detail completely stopped the battery from charging for months. Because when the car was moved from Cyprus, they had to manually release the handbrake to push the car around. And ever since then, the system refused to charge the hybrid battery properly. So after months of stress, the problem wasn't some catastrophic Ferrari failure, it was basically a parking brake. And this is where the video accidentally exposes something much bigger about modern supercars. These cars are no longer simple mechanical machines. Everything is connected to software, sensors, modules, and electronic systems. The Ferrari literally refused to communicate unless almost every single component was plugged back into the car. Airbags, cooling systems, hybrid modules, everything. Even the air conditioning system became part of the problem, because Ferrari explained that the aircon actually helps cool the hybrid battery while charging, meaning without proper cooling, the battery could overheat. That's why Matt had to custom build completely new air conditioning lines just to make the Ferrari Challenge body kit work on a road car. And that's when the rebuild stopped feeling like a repair project and started feeling like experimental engineering. Matt and his team were basically creating something Ferrari never intended to exist. A road-legal Ferrari 296 Challenge car with a hybrid system still fully functioning. Prototype cooling setups, custom fan placements, modified undertrays, custom aircon lines. Everything became trial and error. But somehow, even after all that, the Ferrari still wouldn't start. And then came the most insane twist in the entire rebuild. The real issue was the steering wheel, not the engine, not the battery, not the hybrid system, the steering wheel. Ferrari eventually tested the car using a brand new steering wheel, and suddenly everything came to life instantly. Ignition worked, dashboard worked, systems communicated properly. The entire car woke up immediately. And what makes this even crazier is Matt had already tested another steering wheel earlier in the rebuild. But that steering wheel also came from a crashed Ferrari, so it had the exact same hidden damage. The actual issue was buried inside the touchscreen start-stop controls on the steering wheel. When the airbags exploded during the original crash, the internal wiring overheated and damaged the start-stop system. One tiny damaged electronic control completely shut down an entire Ferrari 296 for months. That reveal completely changes the whole story. Because after all the theories, after all the wasted money, after all the hybrid panic, the entire car was defeated by one damaged button. And even after finally getting the Ferrari running, the problems still weren't over. Because now the team had to figure out how to stop the hybrid system from overheating. Ferrari had already warned them that the custom radiator setup might not cool the battery properly. At one point, Ferrari technicians were literally using leaf blowers to keep temperatures down while charging the car. So let's talk about what Ferrari actually did that made this whole situation so historically significant. Because this wasn't just Ferrari allowing a visit. This was Ferrari actively helping diagnose and repair an independently owned, crash-damaged, non-original specification car. That almost never happens. Ferrari's official position on independent repairs has always been firmly in the direction of redirecting customers back to authorized dealers. They protect their software. They protect their diagnostic access. They protect their brand image. But something changed here. And the reason it changed says a lot about where the independent repair world is heading. Because Matt Armstrong's rebuild wasn't just a YouTube project anymore. It had become a public test case for whether Ferrari's own systems could even be understood outside of Maranello. And when Ferrari realized their own technology was stumping everyone involved, something in their approach shifted. They let the cameras in, briefly. They let technicians communicate. They let information flow that would normally stay completely locked behind official service walls. And whether that happened because of the public attention or because someone inside Ferrari genuinely respected what Matt was trying to do, the result was the same. An independent mechanic got access to Ferrari support that almost no one gets. That matters way beyond this one car. Because right now, the entire automotive repair industry is in a quiet war. Independent mechanics versus manufacturer software locks. And every time a manufacturer chooses to help rather than block, it sets a precedent. A small one, but a precedent. And for anyone who loves cars and believes people should be able to fix what they own, that moment inside the Ferrari workshop felt like a genuine win. But back to the car, because even with Ferrari's help, the engineering challenges didn't disappear overnight. The overheating situation was still a very real threat. And this is where things got genuinely experimental in a way that felt almost dangerous. This is where Matt's team actually showed something genuinely impressive, because the modifications they made were subtle, careful, engineered to work invisibly. You'd look at the car and see a Ferrari 296 challenge. You wouldn't see the dozens of compromises and custom solutions hidden underneath keeping it from overheating. And there's something almost poetic about that. The most difficult parts of the build are the parts you can't see. The handbrake sensor, the steering wheel button, the custom aircon lines, the fan mounts behind the bumper, all the invisible engineering holding an impossible car together. But here's the question nobody was asking out loud during all of this. What happens on the first real drive when the temperatures actually climb? And that first drive was genuinely tense in a way that felt different from normal rebuild anxiety. This wasn't just will the engine start, this was will the entire hybrid system survive? Will the temperatures stay in range? Will the software allow full power? Will something deep inside the electronics decide it doesn't like what it's reading and shut everything down? The car fired up. And for a moment, everything felt perfect. The sound from a Ferrari 296 is already extraordinary. But this one, with that body kit, with the history of everything it took to get to this moment, sounded like something completely different. Like something that had earned its voice. But somewhere in this car, right now,